Hello everybody, this is Stonewall, and welcome back to Modded Minecraft. This is episode 3, and today we're going to be doing a little bit of machine work and things like that, but first we're going to look around. You can see I've been doing a little bit of work, so I found quite a few more oreberry bushes. I've been kind of collecting those and putting them over here. The other thing is I kind of organized a little bit with the storage. So I've been mining and got some more ores and things like that. Been processing through a lot of ores, and there's some up at the smeltery I'll go get in a second and show you that. But I'm putting all of my ores right now in this chest, and all of my mob drops and farm items in this chest. So you can see I've only got 2 string. So at the end of last episode I said we were going to upgrade our bag, but I don't have enough string to upgrade it yet, so I might have to build some machines to do that. Alright, so before we do anything else, we're going to look at this Mossy Stone bricks and some that I've got right here. So the chisel that I used to design this doorway here and do a little bit with custom blocks, it's got 2 modes. You can right click and throw things in there. So for instance these wood planks, which is how I did part of that. The other mode you can click, and it might take a second for it to update. There we go, and it'll change it. So if I just broke this, it just give me cobblestone, but since I do that I can get Mossy Stone brick. Now what it's useful for, the main use that I'm going to use it for right now, is, let's see if I can find it real quick. It's probably under here. There it was. This ball of moss from Tinker's Construct. So what it does is it allows tools to auto repair over time. So I'm gonna get a little bit more of this. Sometimes it double clicks, that's kind of weird, but I'll fix that one in a second. The other thing is I'm kind of expanding this cave out a little bit, and I got to thinking and figured it would be a good idea to get a hammer going, because I can do it a whole lot faster with a hammer. So, and here's this other mode, I can change that over. Alright, so for right now I'll just make those there, and I'll put the extra one in there. So I'm going to apply this to my sword. I'm just going to put 1 on it. You can add more so it repairs faster. And 1 to my steel pickaxe. Alright. You can add more so it repairs faster, but it also takes up more modifier slots. So I'm just going to put 1 on it for right now. Alright, so let's go out here to our smeltery. And there may be some weird stuff. Yeah, so some weird visual stuff. So if you look at the whale up at the top, it shows that the top tank is half full and the bottom tank is full, but it doesn't represent it visually. It's kind of weird. This shows that it's empty, but it's actually got some in it. But yeah, I've been processing through a lot of ores, and I'm just going to take these down, and I'll show you this setup. So I made a liquid transfer node from Extra Utilities that pours the molten liquids into the mold, and then an item transfer node pulls it out and puts it in the chest. Alright. And those blank casts are just the leftover aluminum bronze that was in the smeltery. Alright. So I'm just going to toss these in here. Now I'm going to go ahead and grab some of this copper and some of these seared bricks and my tool station. There we go. And I actually need 1 more block real quick. There we go. And I'm going to make a tool forge. So the tool forge, as you'll see here in just a second. Alright, this tool forge opens up some other options for tools. So it'll allow you to make the hammer, the lumber axe, excavator, scythe, cleaver, battle axe, longbow, crossbow, crossbow bolts, and shuriken. Alright, so a lot more options than the regular tool station. Alright, so here in just a little bit we're going to get our hammer going, but first we need to decide what materials to use, and we need to make a few stencils. So we need a tough rod, a large plate, and a hammerhead. Alright, I'm going to drop these in here. So the first thing is, what we want to do is make one that is easy to repair. So we're going to start off with a stone hammerhead, because stone is, you know, really easy to come by. But the plates we're going to make out of something else. So for right now we're going to make a stone one so we can make a mold for it for our casting table. And then we're going to go ahead and make a stone tough rod. And I'm going to shut this door just to be safe. And make a stone tough rod here. Alright. Just again, so we can make a mold for it. Now, we've got to look and figure out what material we want to use. I can use iron, which would be, I mean, it's a pretty good material for it. I can make electrum. So let's look at this. If this thing will listen to me. Alright, so here's a list of all the large plates, and that's just the cast there. So you can look at the three stats: durability, mining speed, and attack. The main things I'm looking for, the main thing is mining speed. The durability is okay. It doesn't really make a huge difference because it's easy to repair, because I'm making the hammer head out of stone. So I can look through here. Pocophinium wouldn't be bad, but I think it's cobalt for that, and you've got to go to the nether. Let's see here. Alright, so after doing a little bit of research, what I decided on doing was making one plate out of steel, and then one plate out of electrum. Alright, so if you look at the mining speed on electrum, it's at 17, which is pretty high. And then steel is at 10, and it's going to add quite a bit to the durability because of the reinforced 2 modifier. Alright. So I went ahead and made the molds for the parts, and I'll probably do a paper tough rod for it. Okay, so I'm just going to melt down the electrum. Now, let's see here. Actually, it's this way. So, to make electrum, you've got to alloy silver and gold. Alright. So, it's not a very durable material, obviously. I mean, it's got the reinforced 1 modifier, but it's got a pretty good mining speed. So, it makes a decent plate. So, we're just going to let this melt down. Alright, there we go. We've got 8 ingots of electrum, and we've got our plate on the casting table, or our plate cast on the table there. And oh, that was the problem. Okay. Gotcha. Alright, so there's our electrum plate, and we're going to melt down our steel. That'll take a little bit longer, so I'm going to go down and get some of our paper tool parts going. There we go. Over here to the part builder. There we go. And so you notice that actually took 6 pieces of paper to make the tough rod. So the numbers are a little bit weird whenever you're dealing with paper, and also whenever you're dealing with the MFR plastic later on. Alright, so is this almost there? There we go. Let's go ahead and grab this stone hammerhead out of here. And this should have poured it in. There it is, our large steel plate. Okay, so let's build this hammer. Now, I don't remember for sure if it matters which place the plates go in, so I'm gonna play around with that and see if it changes durability or any of the modifiers here. Alright, so that doesn't really affect any of the different modifiers depending on which plates where. Alright, and we're just gonna drop the berries in there and some of this stuff out of the way. Alright, so here's what the hammer does. So this will help me a little bit as I try to expand my cave outward and make room for other things. Alright, so I'm going to do a little bit of digging here to make my cave bigger, and I'll be back in just a minute. Alright, so I actually wasn't digging too long, and I opened up out into another entrance into another cave system that I've already been in. So I need to figure out if I'm going to turn this into another room. If so, I might want to block off some of this, or I could, put a door here and make it another entrance. Alright, so I'll have to figure out what I'm going to do with that. But for right now, I'm going to build a few machines. So the first thing is, for the machines to work, we need power. Alright, and to get power, you've got a couple different options. So let me close this door real quick. So if we look up, and there's a couple things you can search for. So the first thing, of course, is generator. Alright, so Stirling generator is probably what we're going to do. It's pretty basic, mostly stone, very little iron, and like one piece of iron, one piece of redstone to make a Stirling generator. And it's fairly easy to get some upgrades for it, and it'll be a pretty good power source. So the other thing is survivalist generator is more efficient with the fuel. So for each piece of coal you get more energy out of it, but it's very slow. So that's part of the reason I'm not going to be using that, and it's actually more expensive than the Stirling generator. So we're going to start off with the Stirling generator, and from there we're going to build a few machines to process our ores and things like that. Alright, I'll be back in just a minute. Alright, here we go. 3 Stirling generators. And let's throw some of these resources back in here. And some of the stuff I don't really need on me right now. So, these will burn just about anything a furnace will burn. And let me make this all evened up back here. Alright. And let's do it like this for now. So this will burn just about anything a furnace will burn, and it's got an internal storage for power. So I could even, throw this piece of wood in here, and it'll generate 20 RF per tick. Now RF is the power, I guess, unit, redstone flux. And if you mouse over anything you can burn in here, it'll actually tell you how much RF it will generate, which is pretty useful. So the next thing we want to build, or next 2 things we want to build, they kind of go together. Is in the Ender IO mod. And so that is the Sag Mill and the alloy smelter. So these are going to take a little bit longer, or a little bit more material. So machine chassis, which takes a basic capacitor, which uses some gold, copper, redstone. course, a piston, that's pretty easy, and some flint and iron. The alloy smelter, however, takes a lot more iron, so you have to build a cauldron for this one. But this allows you to combine certain materials. Alright, so I'm going to get to work on these, and I will be back in just a minute. And there we are. Sag Mill and alloy smelter. So I'm gonna put the sag mill here and the alloy smelter here. Now later we'll get a little bit better setup, but for now this is pretty simple. So the sag mill works best whenever you have some material here, something hard. So in this mod is something called dark steel, and you can make a ball out of this. And if you look here, it increases the main output by 50%, so to 150%, the bonus output by 200%, and it reduces the amount of power required by 30%. For right now, that's a little bit hard to obtain because you need pulverized coal and obsidian. The pulverized coal you get from the sag mill, so we need something in there for right now. Flint is better than nothing, so it doesn't last quite as long, but it's better than having no extra material there at all. Alright, so remember last episode we were trying to do the upgrade, so we're gonna process this real quick and take care of that. Alright, there we go, got the string. And let's see if it'll work with dark oak planks. So if I remember correctly, actually we might want the planks first. There we go. If I remember correctly, it was string, wood, and then iron. And I might be wrong, or it might take regular oak. Let me check real quick. Alright, there we go. I just had it out of order. So, to apply the upgrade to the bag, and if you remember, the bag has 15 slots, then I think, yep, you just combine it in a crafting table and you get a tier 2 bag, and that greatly increases my carrying capacity. So, let's see here. Alright, so now it goes from 15 to 27, so it adds a little bit of storage there. Alright, so let me collect these. Alright, so the next thing is we need food. I've just been collecting the little strawberries that are growing out there in the wild, but we've got a little bit better source of food now. So I actually added 2 mods in here. I added Optifine, hoping that it would help with some of the performance issues. I think it's helped a little bit. It's not a huge difference, but it's helped out some. And I added Pam's Harvest Craft, which adds some more food options for me. So, cool thing about this is instead of using 3 wheat for 1 bread, I can pulverize it down into flour and then cook the flour up. Now later we'll get another machine with a particular upgrade in it, and it'll do a lot more bread a lot faster. But for right now this is good for us. Alright, so I actually almost forgot about this. I was kind of waiting for you guys to see this before I did it. Is down in my little mining area that I showed you last time, there was, I discovered something. Now, some people call it useless. And if you know who I'm talking about, then you've been watching Etho a little bit. And that is some shiny blue rocks. So yeah, right back here, if I remember correctly, came across some diamonds. Right now I'm not sure how much is here, but we'll dig around it a little bit and figure that out. Now I don't have anything with fortune on it yet, unfortunately. looks like a pretty good bunch here. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Alright, and I actually needed this redstone as well, because I'm running a little bit low from what I gathered before. There we go. Alright, so decent number of diamonds for one little patch. Or one little vein, I guess you could say. Alright. So let's hop out of here. So I don't fall in the hole. Alright, so one of the uses for diamonds, you can't use it as a material for Tinker's Construct, but you can use it as a modifier. So, for instance, this hammer only has a mining level of iron, but if you add a diamond to it, then it will increase the mining level up to as if you had up to where a diamond tool would be. So I can apply this to my hammer and be able to mine obsidian with it. Obsidian is one of the main things that I'm missing in order to make dark steel. If you remember, there was this pool of lava over this direction, and I kind of exhausted it for fuel. So I'll have to find me another lava lake, and I'll probably go back and apply this modifier to my hammer, pick up a bucket of water, and harvest some obsidian. Alright, so I just used my hammer to dig into this spot. Now if you look on the map, I just dug straight over. This is the main ravine I dug into to start with, and I'm gonna see if this is an actual pool. It kind of looks like it, and that looks like that might be some obsidian right there. So I'm hoping that this will be a decent source for me to get some obsidian. Oh, nice, some diamonds. Now this is gonna be a little bit annoying. Let's see if I can go up here and block this off real quick. 8 more diamonds. Alright. Add it to the pile of useless shiny blue rocks. And there we go. It's a full-on lava lake. Alright, there we go. I got me a whole stack of obsidian out of that. And most of this was just 1 layer deep. Some of that over there is 2. So if I need more obsidian, I know where to find it. Alright, so let's head back towards the base. Now I got the obsidian for a couple of reasons. Now normally I would want to make alumite tools, but because I found the steel to start with, I don't need it. Alumite outside of steel, cobalt, ardite, and manulin is about the only way to harvest cobalt and ardite. So, or an alloy of cobalt and ardite, which would be pocophinium and ferri. Again, feels like it's always raining. So anyways, but I got it for dark steel and for a nether portal. So that's the main reasons I got the obsidian. And to start with, I'm just going to make some dark steel. Now the dark steel armor, that will probably be my main armor eventually. But for right now, I'm going to stick with just the plain iron armor. There's different modes. So right here, it'll smelt anything. Then you can set it to alloys only or furnace only. I'm going to set it to alloys only and just go ahead and throw all of this in here. Let this smelt up. Alright, so I believe we reached the wrapping up point for this episode. So next time, probably what we're going to try to do is figure out a automated method for doing some of our farming, and we'll kind of improve our little farm area down there. From what I've seen, a lot of the farming equipment will actually take care of these ore berries. So I'll probably set up some system with this. I may move these so they're out of our way a little bit, and we can use that space for something else. And then we're probably going to get another system started that will let us work towards bedrockium. So that requires compressed cobblestone, which requires a ton of cobblestone. So to get to the top level for one piece of octuple compressed cobblestone, which will turn into one bedrockium block, which is 9 ingots, you need 43,046,721 cobblestone. That is a lot. So I'll probably use some of these transfer nodes, like what I'm using here, this item transfer node, and make a cobblestone generator. Use some barrels and probably a cyclic assembler to work towards that. It'll take a very long time to get to bedrockium, but we can kind of work towards that. Alright? So that's probably what we're going to be doing next episode. But for now, this is Stonewall signing off. I'll see you in another episode.